the biggest group that watches the housing market, predicting this is the year for a rebound. So is now the time to buy that dream house? Connie the Groot says, you bet. She's with Coldwell Banker in Beverly Hills. But Peter Schiff, well, he disagrees. He is the author of Crash Proof. So I'm going to start with you. I mean, Connie, I got to tell you, this doesn't look too good. We've had a lot of negative numbers this month.
Right, and it's to be expected. We just had this crisis in August, and so it's going to take a little bit of time to work things through. However, there are so many numbers, I'm not going to bore you with all these numbers, showing the median home price all across the nation going up in a lot of different areas. But let's look at what we have going. We have interest rates that are actually a little lower than they were a year ago. We have home prices in many areas that have gone down. So you can buy a home for a little bit less and get more home. It's a terrific time to buy. And one more thing, with new homes, with commodities going through the roof, a new home is going to cost so much more in a couple years. So if you want a new home, builders are slashing prices and practically begging you to buy them. This is a terrific opportunity. Please, people, go out there, do a little homework, and you'll see that that's true.
So, Peter, do you agree with that?
Well, I agree with one thing. In a few years, it is going to cost a lot more to build homes, but nobody's going to be building them. We built too many. So people are going to be able to buy homes that have already been built for a fraction of what it costs to build them. But I want to point something out. I just heard Gary B. say that nobody predicted the collapse in subprime. Well, Gary B. knows that's not true, because not only did I predict that several times on Fox, but I predicted it last year on Fox on Bulls and Bears in front of Gary B., and he laughed it off. So I have a pretty good track record of predicting this stuff in advance, and I can tell you now that the decline in housing prices has just begun. This is a terrible time to buy a house. It's a great time to sell one if you can find a buyer.
But Peter, existing homes... Go ahead.
I completely disagree. How can you say that, Peter? Maybe you're not looking for a new home, but there's a lot of people that missed out on the opportunity because prices, they just couldn't afford it. And now they have gone down. There's a chance for you to negotiate something with good information. I'm not saying to be foolish. I agree with you. But there's research out there that you can do to find out what's actually happening in your area and be responsible. You can get a good deal.
I've done the research. That's why I was one of the few people who was able to accurately predict this crisis in advance. And I can tell you...
Why didn't anybody else listen to you? Why didn't the rest of the world listen? My gosh.
They should have.
Everybody's...
They should have listened to me, and a lot of people regret it, and a lot of people who did listen to me, I get emails all the time from people thanking me because they followed my advice and they didn't buy or they invested the way I advised them. But I can tell you... Well, look, let me finish by telling you that housing prices right now are still much too high. They still reflect the lax lending standards, the speculation that drove them to a bubble.
Prices have been going down, Peter. They have been going down.
Look, prices went up in many parts of the country. Prices doubled and tripled in the last 7 or 8 years. And the prices have only come down. Maybe new homes are down 15 or 20%. Existing home prices are down 4 or 5%. That's nothing compared to how much they went up.
You know what I'm frustrated about is that you can't really we can't throw out numbers, and I'm not going to throw out any numbers really anymore because it's too general. Real estate is so local, it's so specific. But you're really misleading people.
I'm not misleading anybody.
You spend too much time on Wall Street and not enough time on Main Street USA.
Excuse me, ma'am.
I speak to people every day.
Peter, last word, Peter.
I am the only person who has not misled people on real estate over the years. I'm one of the few people that told people to ignore the cheerleading of realtors and not to overpay for real estate, not to use these lax lending standards.
I'm not selling a book. I'm just trying to help. I'm not selling anything.
And we appreciate both the reviews. Thank you for being here today. We're about out of time. Peter, Connie, thank you so much.